Good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, March the 24th, and today we are going to continue talking about linear systems. So what you guys have done so far is the graphing part, and then last week you did the substitution. So I'm just going to kind of show you where you want to start today in this PowerPoint. All of this stuff that says substitution, that was from last week. So the substitution was, if you go back and watch the video from last week, you can get some more insight on how to do the substitution method. Also go back and look at those videos that I posted from last week. Today we're going to look at a third method, so not the graphing. So we've done graphing and we've done substitution. So the last method that we're going to learn is called, there's a few different names for it. We're gonna call it elimination or linear combinations. And it's still using equations, but it's just a different way. So here's where you want to start today on the PowerPoint, on this slide right here where it says linear combinations. All of these equations are going to be in standard form. So they'll be in that ax plus by equals c form when we learn that standard form. They're going to give you two equations, and you're going to set these two equations up kind of like an addition problem. So it's going to be in columns, so it'll look like this. So do you see how it's kind of lined up, where like in an addition problem where you would line up your common terms right above each other, so the x's, the y's, the equal signs, and then your numbers over here on the right. Line up the x's first, the y's, the equal sign, then the constant. And then what you do is you just add the columns together. So you add the x's, so x plus x would give you 2x. And you have the line here, it's just like an addition problem, okay? Like the old way you would do addition. Y and negative y would be 0, and 5 and 7 would be 12. So this is what it would look like after you add those together. I'm gonna go ahead and do it right here on the paper, okay? So we would have x plus y equals 5, and x minus y equals 7. And then we draw our line underneath it, and it's like I said, it's just like we're adding them together, like we're combining like terms. So we add our x's, x plus x gives you 2x, positive y and negative y. Those are opposites. So what's gonna happen when you add those together? Gonna be 0. And this right here, this happening, the canceling out of those variables is exactly what has to happen. So if you look on this slide right here, it says the goal in this method is for one of the columns with x or y to equal 0 or to cancel. So this has to be present. Sometimes it's not. On most of the problems I'm going to give you, it's already going to be present there. Okay, so we're not going to get too much, especially not today, into some of the other problems where it's not already going to cancel. We will tackle that at some point. But today we just want to do these basic problems where it's already going to cancel the way that it was given to us, okay? So let's go ahead and keep going with this problem that I already showed you guys. So we're adding the columns together. And then we're just going to take this equation right here and solve it. So we get 2x equals 12. And then we just solve it. It's a really simple one-step equation, and you get x equals 6. So remember, because this is a linear system, our whole goal is to still figure out, remember, these are two lines, and we're trying to figure out what point they intersect at. So I know that the x is 6, but I need to know what is the y. So very easy. All you have to do is plug this back in to one of these equations. You can pick which one. Obviously, I think this one's a little bit easier, that x plus y equals 5. So I'm going to take this 6, because that's what x is, and I'm going to put it where I see the x. So it's going to be 6 plus y equals 5. So if 6 plus y equals 5, I just solve this again. It's just a simple one-step equation in this case. And I get y equals 5 minus 6, which is negative 1. And then that would be the number that goes in that ordered pair. So the solution to this system is 6, negative 1. And you can see that that's what they got here for this problem. All right, so we're gonna, anywhere it says multiply the first equation by 2, we're gonna kind of skip that. I want y'all to practice one where it already cancels out. So let's see if there's any like that on here. still look at some of these, but I want you to go to this slide right here. We're gonna try this one. So I'm gonna do this one, and then I'm gonna give you guys one to try, all right? So let's look at this one, x plus 2y equals 5 and 3x minus 2y equals 7. All right, so I'm just gonna write that down here. X plus 2y equals 5 and 3x minus 2y equals 7. All right, and you draw your line underneath it, and then we're just gonna add the columns, okay? Just like we did up here on this one. So I'm gonna add the x column. X and 3x is 4x. Then I'm gonna add this column. 2y and negative 2y is 0. And then I'm gonna add this column. 5 and 7 is 12. Okay, so you see these canceled out. Now the whole reason we want these to cancel out is because I can only solve this equation if I have one variable. So if this doesn't cancel out, I still have x's and y's, which I can do nothing with. I can't solve that. So this method is called the elimination method because we're eliminating one of these variables, okay? So now I'm gonna finish solving for the x. I divide both sides by 4, and I get x equals 3. So there's part of my answer. Remember, we want an x and we want a y. So I still need that y, so I'm gonna take this, plug it back up into this equation. So my x is 3, right? 3 plus 2y. So I'm gonna write 3 plus 2y equals 5. And then I'm just gonna solve this. Now this one is a 2-step because that has a coefficient, but that's okay. You guys can do that. 2y equals 5 minus 3. 5 minus 3 is 2. Divide both sides by 2, and I get y equals 1. And then I'm just gonna bring that right over here. Okay, so I do want y'all to try one. So I'm gonna give you one to try, and then I'm gonna repost another video showing you guys how to do that one. So let me find which one I want y'all to do. Yeah, I don't see any great ones on here. I might just write one down for you guys. Those of you that actually watch this video. I know some of you won't. All right, so I'm just gonna give you one to try, okay? And on the next video, so I'll give you one to try. All right, so go to that next YouTube video and I'll give you guys one to try, and then you can pause it, work it out, and then see how you do, okay? All right, if y'all have any questions, just send me a message on Remind and I will help you guys, all right? Good luck.